I think the first film that made an impression on me, it's either Jurassic Park or Jaws. And probably Jurassic Park because I saw that in the theaters when I was 6 years old with my mother. And I remember clearly I was like equally terrified and fascinated, and it really made a big impression on me. And at that age, I was really obsessed with the kind of films that I wasn't allowed to see. So I used to walk around in the video store, browsing the horror section, the R-rated section, and just staring at the artwork and the images on the back of the cassette and just imagining what was going on in these crazy ass films. And I think this ritual was what kickstarted my imagination and my interest towards filmmaking and genre films. So this was something that we talked about, a bit jokingly, after a few beers, kind of thing. Beforehand, I didn't really know what was up with his mother, but I know that maybe it was something about her not being there, but I didn't really know, and I didn't dare to ask. And honestly, I thought that Myers didn't want me to ask, so I just kept quiet. But when we did talk about it, the idea of doing a documentary about him trying to find his mother seemed very far-fetched. But for each time we talked about it, the idea became more serious and bigger. And at some point, just decided to write a treatment, like a one-page treatment, just to see how it feels to talk about it creatively, just to dip our toes in the water and see how it feels. And the whole like meta filmmaking aspect was there from the very beginning, even though we didn't really have a plan how to, blend it all. But we always thought that we were going to bring this filmmaking passion as some kind of vessel for the project. So it took us about 4 years to make this film. We had a lot of breaks in between, like waiting for funding, writing applications, and doing other projects as well. And our approach was like jump into shooting as fast as possible. I didn't want to overthink in the beginning because I was already so nervous and insecure about the whole thing. I just wanted to get like stuff in the can and edit right away and see if I can find my footing and kind of understand how I'm supposed to juggle all these different elements. And as seen in the film, we go back and forth between Moyes, documenting Moyes searching for his mother and these films within the film. And that's basically how we did it. We tried to stay true to how things progressed in real life. So we started making these film experiments while staying in the moment, like in between waiting for the embassy to call back or Moyes doing his research or language work, just to feed off the insecurity and find inspiration in how we felt during these moments. I was also editing the same time, so the whole project felt like one like big open experiment with pre-production, shooting, and editing happening all at once. I met Myers when I was probably around like 16, 17 years old. I met him through some mutual friends. Um, and even back then, our conversations were about, the films we liked, the directors we liked. We both had an interest in Asian films and especially Japanese films. But it wasn't obvious to me that we were gonna make movies together. That was just something that happened. I think it all began with me wanting to practice shooting dialogue, and I had just finished 2 years in film school, and I wanted just to shoot something right away and keep going. And somehow Marius became involved in front of the camera, and we ended up having a lot of fun with it, and we just kept going.